This is our helm setup, and this is the throttle for the engine here on the right side. And we're not getting all the engine RPMs we need. We're only getting 15 to 1800. We need 2500 unloaded, 2100 loaded to get full speed. And I've been through the fuel system. We did have a blockage on the way over, cleaned it out. Fuel system's perfect. I think it's in the throttle cable. So let's go downstairs, take a look. There's the problem. Throttle cable, the sheath is rusted in two. You can see the exposed center core. So when I pull on the throttle from above, the core is moving, and it's not actuating the throttle on the fuel pump completely. So we got to replace that. Fortunately, I do have a spare. I replaced the shift cable a couple years back. Noticed a little rust on this and bought a spare. So let's get to work. Awful tight in here, but I got a pair of needle nose pliers, and look at that. That's the Carter key that holds the pin in that attaches the cable to this shift lever. So step one is done. There you go. Now you can see in there. I got the pin out of the clevis that attaches the throttle cable to the lever. Let me see if I can hold all these in order. You can see it's loose. So now we just got to go back down in there and unbolt the cable from underneath and see if we can slide it out. Boat yoga time. I got to crawl in this quarter berth on the starboard side. Take my ratchet and socket with me and go through this access port underneath the starboard settee where we keep lines stored, because it makes it more comfortable for me to crawl in here. See, I'm passing our water maker. Here's the steering quadrant on the rudder shaft. You can see that throttle cable is at the back of that. So I put my ratchet there. Now I gotta twist my body and retain the ratchet and socket and rotate onto my back. It's kind of tough manipulating all this. Boat yoga. Don't want to lose my glasses, so I'll put them there for now. And as I rotate onto my back, I can extend my right arm all the way up to here. You can see I got the nut off one side, but the one behind the pulley there, you can see the pulley's kind of in the way. That's what the socket's for. And that's right at the end of my arm's reach. So let me see if I can get that one off. This is not fun. Okay, the cable's free underneath. I did get that nut off, but I want to get this yoke off before I try and pull it down through the hole, because it goes down through this tube and I'm afraid it'll get hung up. So I'm gonna remove the wheel, take the whole wheel off, because when the autopilot drive motor, which is here, comes through, it leaves me a big hole here that I can get this yoke off and have access to it. So let's do that next. Yeah, just a throttle cable. It'll be easy to replace. Said no one ever. Or if they did, they were sorely mistaken. But now that I've got access to this, I can take the yoke off. And you can see I got the wheel completely off. But I got to put a new belt on the autopilot anyway, so that had to happen. So, might make that next project. Now let's go back underneath and see if we can fish all this down through the hole. Other end of the throttle cable's loose. I've got the bracket loose that holds this end of the cable. I've been soaking this nut here in penetrating oil, so let me see if I can get this end loose and fish this cable out of here. We've got the old cable completely out. This is what holds the jacket where it goes up through the tubing to the throttle level. That was the spot that I found that made me want to change it, but good thing I did. There's several other spots where this cable was obviously failing. Pull it in here because I got to get to both ends. You know, it was rotting away pretty good, but 2 points of almost complete failure. So we'll change the ends, put them on the new cable, and install it. The clevis that attaches the shift cable to the throttle lever or throttle cable is rusted up. I had a heck of a time getting the attachment pin out, so we're going to clean them up with a wire brush and a drill bit to make that easier to go back together and lube it up real good. Much better. Easily inserted, no resistance. To get this lever out, I had to fight that pin through this blind-sided hole. It's only open on one side. So I decided to put it in the slot, and then I'll work it back in to put this pin in this blind-sided hole for the other end. I think it's going to be a little easier. And there we go. This end is in. Now we just got to go attach it to the throttle lever on the fuel pump on the engine. Had to get creative and make a short screwdriver with something from my drill kit to tighten these screws up. Now we're going to check range of motion. All right, lift the throttle, release, lift. Yep, it's going against the stop.
Let go.
Let go. All right, good deal. With everything adjusted on the new throttle cable, let's start it up and try it out. So the tachometer wire might be loose, but I'm happy with the throttle cable.